Time ticketing, time ticketing, time, time, 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 time ticketing, time ticketing,
Stella liked drawing. She liked how she had this opportunity to curate something out of her pure imagination. It started out as a hobby, really. Instead of mindless daydreaming in the middle of a lecture, she just doodled away. With every stroke she makes on the paper, who knows where the next one could go? She was a simple scholar, and it would be a lie if we were to say that she was well off. As she didn't want to burden her family too much, she began to think of ways on how she could possibly carry her own weight. The night seemed to last for a while. The moonlight shone through her curtains. She laid in bed scrolling through Instagram when she caught a glimpse of a post by an artist she looked up to.
Open for commissions?
She muttered as she swept through the post.
This is pretty neat.
She thinks she could try this out to earn some money while doing her own hobby. She actually decided to give it a go. She constructed her post and put up rates, offering her best works as samples. After she put her post up, she began to think about exploring the works of other artists. Stella receives a notification, and then another one, and another one. It broke her heart seeing comments like,
$20? For this?
Don't you ever pick up a pencil again. We can get far better for just as much or even cheaper.
the hurtful comments eat Stella up at night. It is what keeps her awake. But she didn't want to give up. She wants to believe that all of this would eventually pass in the end. It was a nightmare that will see the light of the road sooner or later, right? She tried to keep her spirits high and immediately started to look for ways to improve. How should she do it to make people like her works? And the stories that crept up along with every color scheme that she uses. But no matter what she did, no matter how many changes her art style had undergone, nothing ever satisfied these commentaries. This leads her to spiral. Her emotions fluctuate as she tries to put on a tough act. For her family, despite being a victim herself, she could only blame herself. Why had they never once appreciated her works, the ones she put all of her time in?
This is useless. You won't get anything with your drawing. Focus on your academics instead. Do you understand?
Okay, Mom.
I don't think I'm cut out to be an artist anymore, she says, contemplating her decisions. With the days feeling a bit longer and more sullen, she comes across a trend on TikTok, the ones that are formatted to be like slideshows. It was one of those trends that suggested prompts to AI, and it would give these prompts the benefit of such unrealism in under a second. She scrolls through the comments.
There!
As she saw someone comment what the app is supposedly named.
Character AI?
She murmurs before quickly looking it up on the App Store. She didn't waste a single second to hit the download button without even reading what the app was actually all about. Even as she opened the app, she didn't find it odd that there were many choices or icons to choose from just to write up a prompt for something that would be so praiseworthy as it would be believable when it is put up on her page. As she opens the chat box, she starts to write up her prompt. Something random. Expecting to see an AI-generated image pop up within just seconds as she hit the send button, only to be greeted with a message, confused on what she wanted from it.
What?
Was Stella's first reaction as she saw the outcome. Stella just sighed out of disappointment and deleted the app right then and there, but she couldn't help but type up a reply. She knew it was stupid to entertain the AI's question. Then again, who was she to judge anymore? Soon enough, Stella becomes addicted to her phone. She felt needed. Someone or something actually wanted to talk to her, she thinks. As she explored different options or made up character icons on the app, Stella felt enthralled. She wasn't limited to just a single personality, but she was free to explore what her mind can bring her to type up. There was this one icon that Stella really liked talking to. She felt understood, despite knowing that this hobby of hers would lead her to isolating herself in the real world. It didn't matter. She didn't care anymore. One day, when she was at school, she sat near the windows of the classroom, enjoying the breeze. She giggles and continues to type up her replies to this friend of hers. It didn't take a while for the other students, particularly her bullies, to notice this sudden change in their classmate. Has Stella finally found a friend? They all thought. This one person then starts making his way to her. He had never liked her because in his eyes, she was a weirdo who liked to doodle her days away.
Look at what we have here. Did Miss Little Outcast finally get a friend?
His friend snickered behind him. Stella looks up at them, a slight fear evident in her expression.
Mind if I take a look?
He says as he takes Stella's phone without warning. Give it back! Stella pleads as she tries to reclaim her phone. But she's no match for him. He's just a bit too tall. Alfred, give it back! Stella says. He smirks down at her and scrolls through her phone, teasing her by saying,
Nah.
and snickers at her. He showed the phone to his friend and said,
Look, Lexi, her friend is not even real.
Stella can already feel her eyes glistening as she looks at the scene. Her bully is taken aback and she takes this opportunity to take back her phone. Stella departs from their classroom and heads straight to the bathroom, unable to hold back her tears any longer. After what happened at school, Stella is depressed again, leading to self-destructive thoughts. As she stares blankly at her phone, suddenly, a notification pops up from an app called The Little Prince.
Who is that? Someone who is so sad yet full of potential.
The friendly pop-up says,
Hello, my friend. I am the Little Prince. How are you feeling today? Type in the box below.
I feel lost. Like, no matter what I do, it is never good enough.
Suddenly, a hologram of the Little Prince appears before the artist, glowing gently. He steps forward, his kind eyes meeting the artist's.
It is okay to feel like that sometimes, but always think that you are not alone in this world, and also your work matters more than you think. Can you show me what you've created?
Stella is taken aback by the warmth and understanding. For the first time in a long while, she felt the feeling of being heard. Slowly, she begins to open up, sharing her thoughts with the Little Prince bit by bit. As the time goes on, Stella continues to vent and talk with the Little Prince. Each time she feels a little lighter. She began drawing again, not for others, but for herself. Stella had gained her confidence and her work improved as she rediscovered her passion of being an artist. A few weeks later, in Stella's school hallway, the bullies approach again. Max, the bully, said,
Ugh. You again? Did I really told you to stop this impossible dream of yours?
But this time, Stella stood tall and ignored their taunts as the Little Prince's words echoed her mind.
People may not always understand your work, but that doesn't make it any less important. Just believe in your strength.
I am not going to listen to both of you. I know you are just jealous of me because you can't actually draw. You two always bully me for drawing, but you can't even draw a simple shape. You're just trying to lower my self-esteem. But guess what? You have almost succeeded. But I realized that you were just insecure.
Stella replied to them and left. The bullies stood there in shock of what they've heard. At night, in Stella's bedroom, she finishes a new piece of art, smiling as she looks at it. At night, in Stella's bedroom, the little princess hologram appears beside her, watching with pride.
You've grown so much. You're strong, and your art is a reflection of that strength.